It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Another edition of the Two Mats and a Goalie on Two Guys and a Goalie. Matthew Iwanyk, Matt Kassian, and Joaquin Gage with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk, live on iHeartRadio, on TuneIn, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, as well as on YouTube. Spency5 says, Sensi in the nasty chat early saying, can the nasties get one more Brown off the Schneid song for good behavior? I think we deserve it. Sadly, I don't have that actually. Dusty's the only one that has that song, and he's gone home sick. So I actually can't play it for you. But you can go back to the Nielsen show and listen back to it. They played it a lot today. Gager, I've already seen you a little bit today in those, so I'll start with Cass. How you doing today, Cass?
No, par for the course, Cass.
Is he muted? Or
Damn
was it you?
No.
Did you start the show with it?
I'm doing good. It was
late game.
It was a late game. It was a fun night last night though. For all as much as I hate games that start at 8:00 because I'm like, this is so late. Why are they doing this to us? That was a fun one, guys. It was a fun one. Fun post game show too. A lot of great interaction on the nasty chat. A lot of great interaction on the text line and for Tommy at Hudson's. It was fun. Good night for hockey in Edmonton.
And now we're only saying that because of Connor Brown scoring. No,
yes.
If Connor Brown doesn't score and it's the 6-2 route, I think we're still a little annoyed by the start time, even though the Oilers route the Capitals. Are we not?
Yep.
Definitely.
Probably. But that just it's like, and this is what I told Tommy. It's like it became one of those season-defining games because it's like so many things happen. It's like you had a 2-goal lead. It looked like it was just going to be a walk in the park the whole game. So I was like, this is going to be boring because Edmonton's just going to roll them the entire game, and there's not going to be any tension. And then the first 2 shots go in, and you're like, oh boy. That changed quickly. And then Edmonton scores again right away. And you're like, oh, that changed quickly again. Then Stuart Skinner makes an unbelievable save. And you're just like, that was awesome. And it just keeps building from there to the penultimate goal that had nothing to do with the outcome of the game. But to see Connor Brown score and then just to see people's reaction, like his reaction, his teammates' reaction, and the reaction from the crowd was just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was an impressive game for what it was and the amount of fan interaction, I think, throughout the game. There was a little bit of lull in the second period, but what impressed me, and I guess I'll just go to the goaltending, I was in our private chat kind of I think I went all Cass. I went all caps at one point. I was upset at Stuart Skinner because I find at certain times during games and watching goaltenders, it's goaltending by numbers in certain situations. And you saw that on the first goal. He goes into that kind of reverse VH or whatever it is when the puck's on the sideboards, not paying attention to what's actually happening in the game. Terrible first goal. And I guarantee, because I watched Stuart Skinner, I had the ISO-cam on him, he was completely committed when the puck was in his own end after that. You didn't see him automatically going into that position because he wasn't expecting anything at that point. That's an easily stoppable puck. I know it sounded great. It looked great because you heard the big ping off the post, but a horrible goal by Stuart Skinner. And then that's why I went nuts after the second one. It goes in, and as a goaltender, your confidence is shattered at that point because you knew you made such a stupid error on the first one. And then trying to stop the second one, not going your way, and you got 2 goals on 2 shots. But for him to rebound, and his first save of the game is one of the best saves he's made all year, and to go through the rest of the game and shut the door, unbelievable. Stuart Skinner's on a next level mentally, and his focus is so good right now. Definite, really good sign for the Edmonton Oilers fans moving forward with their goalies both playing really well.
And Joaquin, what did you say to us basically right before Stuart Skinner made that save on OV?
I said it's over. He's going to have a horrible night.
You jinxed it.
I know.
You jinxed it in the good way.
I did.
It's like in the Boston game when Jack Michaels mentioned Ullmark's shutout with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
He put that little bad juju on the Bruins, but it worked out for the Oilers.
Yeah.
You did that yourself.
I did that. I was – well, the first goal – I don't know. Maybe I was in a bad space at that point, but it really bothered me looking at what Stuart Skinner did. So, yeah, I mean, it worked out for everyone, Cass. So I'll take the brunt of it there. I was a little bit too overzealous with my texting. Maybe you're rubbing off on me with your nasty chat responses.
He's already in the nasty chat with all caps.
I'm always in the nasty chat with all caps. It's my favorite place to be.
When it comes to Skinner, Kate, you're upset with that first goal, but what's it like being a goalie and not facing a shot for nearly 10 minutes in a period to start a game?
Well, in that situation, it's terrible too, because you knew you made such a big mistake in the first, right? Like and you have to put that aside, and he does a great job at doing that.
But isn't that a benefit? Like, isn't that like a way for him to have an excuse on that first goal? Is that like he hadn't had any action for 9 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever, and then all of a sudden he rust? Would there not be any rust or something as a goalie if you're not facing the shots?
No, not at all. No? Even more so for a bona fide NHL starting goalie, he's got to show that he can stay in it without action for 10 minutes and know that once that puck comes over his blue line, it's total focus. And look, if you've PVR'd the game, go back and watch it. Watch how he goes like nonchalantly into that kind of reverse VH or whatever it is, and doesn't pay attention to where the puck is on the boards. It was a stoppable puck. Could have been, without those saves on Ovechkin all night, that's a way closer hockey game. So, but I do commend him. Unbelievable bounce back after allowing the first two. And you could see it when he made that save on Ovi. There was a little shake to the head of really going, okay, like, come on. I shouldn't be having to make these. This shouldn't be my first save of the game after allowing two. I gotta do a little bit better. And he was fantastic.
Cass, what else did you make? Like anything else stand out in that game for you beyond, Connor Brown getting off the schneid, getting his first, and Skinner bouncing back after a rough start?
Yeah, well, I think you saw, and I said this to Tommy right from the drop of the puck. I sent him. I don't think I sent it in the group. I just sent it to him. But Leon was flying out of the gate yesterday. Now we heard it over and over again. If you watched on the broadcast, he had fans in the stands. I saw them before the game, so I knew he had people there. And I'm like, man, if I was a cool bet type of person for actually actively doing that stuff, which I'm not. And no judgment on people that are, but that's not my thing. I was like, I would have been hammering Leon to have a night because I was like, he's going to be fired up, fans in the stands. And he was right out of the gate. I'm like, man, he is absolutely flying tonight. And I thought he was for the night as a whole. Like he had that extra jump, that extra spark Leon Draisaitl did. And yeah, I thought he had a fantastic game. Yeah, I mean, and we could talk. I don't need, did you, Maddie, when you were giving your little spiel there, did we even mention Zach Hyman yet?
No. And the hat trick that was, but wasn't in the moment.
Crazy. You know what, Cass? I don't know if you really zeroed in on that second goal of his. A great shot, but that shot was that's a goal scorer's goal type of shot, because when you watch as a goalie, you watch the release. And it wasn't like he put everything into it. He placed that exactly where he wanted it to go. Like you watch the follow through, you watch how he grabbed the puck, and I mean it's very quickly how he did this. But it was amazing for him to go posting in, getting the puck. But that's a guy with a boatload of confidence right now, coming in thinking that he can score anytime he touches the puck. That was a very impressive goal from Zach Hyman at that point, because a lot of times you get guys getting into that place and they're just shooting it as hard as they can, trying to hit a spot, whereas he's actually taking a little bit off of it and putting it in a place where, when you look at great goal scorers, even look at those 3 chances Ovi was going to score on, Stuart Skinner always had to make a save. That's always the difference between guys that score goals and guys that don't. Guys that don't try to shoot it as hard as they can all the time, trying to beat the goalie. That was Zach Hyman actually looking, okay, let's put it in a spot where if he doesn't make this save, this is going to be going in the net. I just have to place it perfectly.
It's a big difference between when I'm shooting on you, Gage, when we're playing shinning. Because I'm not trying to place it. Maybe I am, but I still am shooting as hard as I can. It's just by your ears. I'm like, if it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, that's fine, because I'm going to put this head high as hard as I can. That's generally my thought process.
I know. I know. I just said
the old changeup. Yeah, the old changeup though, right? Like it's like no, it doesn't have to be as hard. You want to put it where you want to put it, and that can really help. Like no, you still have to get it there. Like you still have to have something on it. But yeah, you're absolutely right in that it's like that's a little bit of a goal scorers. And hey, he has been a goal scorer this year, so.
Unbelievable.
46 goals, 63 games. I was just doing the average. It's right now at 59 goal pace. What does he finish this season at? Do you guys think he could get to 60?
No. I'm not. I don't. I think he gets, I would say 52.5, and I'm going under.
Then that's pretty, he's going to slow down his goal pace here then for you. 52, like if you're going under 52.5, that means 52 or less. So he's only going to score 6 more goals the rest of the season.
Yeah.
That seems really light to me. Cass?
Like everything's going to tighten up, man. Like I said, this time of year, I watch every single hockey game. And Oilers have they're playing against really good competition, all looking for, playoff positioning, these types of things. They're going to get every other team's best game. I think it's going to be difficult to get over that mark. Does he hit 50? Yeah, for sure. But it's going to be increasingly difficult to score as we progress further towards game 83.
Last 10 games, he's got 11 goals.
I mean, Gage, I know like they do play some really good teams. They play Winnipeg. You get LA, who's going to be in the thick of it. Get Colorado a bunch of times. You get Vegas again. Get Vancouver once more, but it's like you have Arizona still. You have St. Louis, who's kind of out of it. You have San Jose.
They get Montreal. They get Ottawa. They get the Ducks. That's just in March. And then if you go to April, you've got St. Louis. You've got Calgary. Who knows what they're going to be? You've got Arizona. You've got the Sharks. You've got Arizona. 6 goals or less is what he's going to get in your eyes.
See, so this is the thing of my my goaltender thinking. All right, I'll come into the goaltender's mind,
of course,
here,
which is crazy, by the way.
17 games. 17 games he's got left, and he's only going to score in 6.
Not only
total 6.
Not only are you getting the teams that are in it their best games, but you get the guys that don't care. Like there's no pressure anymore.
Okay.
Like the throwaway games, the San Jose Shark guys, you'll have guys competing. Like it's basically training camp for those guys, but there's no pressure to win that game. The pressure to win is solely on the Edmonton Oilers from this point forward, in certain respects. But even those bottom feeder teams that you're talking about right now, they got nothing to lose at this point. So it's going to be, I guarantee, this is going to be very difficult for Zach Hyman to get to 50 at this point.
I just was looking. So his longest drought this season was 3 straight games. He did it twice where he didn't score a goal. If he just does that every time that moving forward, doesn't score for 3 games and scores 1, he's got 4 more goals. So then he's you don't think that he could score 3 more in those other games? He's gonna like that.
I have watched hockey at this point. It's becoming way more difficult to score. Trust me on this. I know what I'm talking about.
So what are you going to give us? What are you going to give us if you're wrong? Because I think you're wrong.
I'm willing to put up a bottle of whiskey or something on this.
Ooh, whiskey.
Or some sort of bottle of something.
Whiskey.
Or something you like.
Let me think.
A pack at 6 o'clock.
Because I will say this. I'm willing to set this easily at 52.5.
Okay.
And I will take the over all day.
Let's do it. We got to come up. Well, I'll come up with something.
Are you on the over with me, Cass?
Of what was the final number?
52.5, we're saying.
Oh yeah.
And he's at 46. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure out something here.
I guarantee you guys will be clenching in a couple of weeks.
Or by the time next week rolls around, he's only 3 away because he got another hat trick against the Avalanche because it's Zach Hyman. This is 2 guys and a goalie. Just a reminder, the EST flyaway keyword coming up later this hour. As we'll qualify another person for that trip to Las Vegas, thanks to our wonderful partners, FlyYEG, the Edmonton International Airport, as well as the LVCVA. You could also get in touch with us, 780-218-9999, which is the Paris Jewelers inbox, or jump into the nasty Nasty Chat on YouTube. This one coming in from Millwood's Matt. Did you hear the crazy stat about how Hyman is the only other Oiler other than Gretzky that has scored 15 goals or something in 10 consecutive home games or something? So this guy, even if he just scores at home the rest of this way, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. You're done, Gager. You're done.
We'll see. We'll see, boys. We'll see. Put your smoked brisket where your mouth is, Cass.
Oh.
I will do that. Absolutely.
Maybe
that'll be. I mean, I always like the food challenges too. It's like maybe it's a brisket, maybe it's a brisket meal, maybe it's some queso.
Right, yeah.
Which is still the only reason my wife and I get invited to anyone's events is so that we bring that.
I'll smoke a pork shoulder and make some pulled pork sandwiches for the boys if I lose.
Great. I'm looking forward to that meal because we know that one's happening.
I'm
feeling really good about that already. So,
without a doubt.
Cass, we'll find a day for you to be in the studio for that one, and then we'll get it all done.
Yeah, that'll be the whole show. That'll be the whole show. We'll just be us eating.
It'll be great. All Gager serving us food all day just because he underestimated Zach Hyman 63 games into a season where he's already got 46 goals.
It won't surprise you, boys, but I do have a leather apron. So
yeah, it's not surprising at all. You're right. Yeah.
Let's look ahead to Saturday's game. The Edmonton Oilers will welcome the Colorado Avalanche. Majo was saying in the hangout earlier today, like, this is a classic Saturday night, 8 o'clock start. Two heavyweights coming together and meeting. Cass, how much are you looking forward to seeing the Avs and the Oilers meet?
I mean, am I looking forward to the teams meet? Yep. Am I looking forward to the 8 o'clock start? No. Like,
not even on the Saturday? You can't handle it on a Saturday?
I can never, dude, I have 3 kids. I can never handle it. No, I am looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. You know, 2 legitimate Stanley Cup contenders that are, for both of them, Colorado trying to, hold on to that top position in their division, and Edmonton trying to catch Vancouver and continue to create space. I mean, 2 playoff teams that are going to be good playoff teams. It'll be a tough out for anybody. So it'll be fun. It'll be a fun matchup. I still think there's some of the lingering feelings from Colorado knocking out Edmonton a couple of years ago. So it's and hey, anytime you get to watch the 2 best players in the world, in my opinion, in McDavid and McKinnon, go head to head, it's going to be a fun night.
I'll just go to the 4 players: McKinnon and Makar versus McDavid and Draisaitl. Yeah. That is just that's unbelievable.
It's awesome.
That is just great to see.
And Connor Brown. Don't forget to throw him into the mix.
You know what? Do you think that there's a chance this guy's going to go on a little bit of a scoring streak here? Like, I'm not going to say he's going to score on Saturday, but do you think, looking over when you guys do the show a week from now, the Oilers will have played, I don't know, 3 games or whatever. Do you think there's the chance? What would you put the percent at that we're talking about a second Connor Brown goal?
That
because he's had some moments, he's had some chances, but you could tell that it just I'm guessing that completely wears on you when you're playing a whole season. You can't score a goal, and now that's gone. So you kind of can breathe a little bit, and I feel like this is going to open things up for Connor Brown, where I think he's going to have another one in a week from now.
Well, we've seen it in the past when guys kind of break the ice. It does relieve the pressure. I don't. Is he going to? What is he? Are we going to do the over/under with what he finishes with at the end of the year too?
Okay, I'm going to set that one.
Are we going to parlay this bad boy?
I'm going to set that one at 2.5. 2.5 goals.
2.5. That's.
Or do I have to set that at 1.5 where he doesn't score?
It might have to be 1.5.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to set it at 2, where 2's the push.
Ooh.
2's a push. Over under 2 goals this year for Connor Brown.
I'm going to put it at 2.5, and I'm going the over, I think, with Connor Brown. After that what he's gone throughout the whole season, and the fact that the way the fans reacted, that was unbelievable. I mean, they started a Connor Brown chant at 7-2 after he scored. And I alluded to the fact in the hangout today that there was 17,000 plus people that knew exactly what had just happened in that building at that point in the game. And to be part of that, that was something special. So I think for a player to know that, yeah, I've struggled. I've been brought into a team that's hopefully going to go have a long playoff run and have something special happen at the end of the year. To know that I have a city behind me and like wanting me to do well, that can do wonders. So yeah, I'm gonna set it to he finishes it with at least 3 goals by the end of the year.
I'm sticking with the 2 where there's the push. Over under, Cass.
This is a tough one. Because there's my heart, what I want to see happen, and then there's statistically what he has done thus far. But I think he gets over 2. I think he does. I think he does it. I think he does it. I think he hits at least 3. But guys, watch him get 5. Watch him get 5.
Yeah.
Well, Penner's Pancakes in the Nasty Chat saying 4 goals, but the secret dark horse in the playoffs.
Ooh.
Now, as I was leaving Hudson's yesterday, Tommy looked at me and he went, I've upgraded Brown back to the Michael Pekka this year of the Oilers from the Peter Klima. Did he go on the postgame? Because he downgraded him to Peter Klima. That was what he was going to be for the Oilers this year, that he's going to pull off that big OT winner. But now he's upgraded him back up to being the Oilers' Michael Pekka this year.
What do you refer to that? His contract's a penalty, right? So
next year it's a penalty, not a cap bonus.
Okay.
It's a penalty.
Maybe when you have a guy that scores more goals he looked at the whole thing, and looking back on it years from now, he's a guy that scores more in the playoffs than he does in the regular season.
He shows up when it matters.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to waste his talents throughout the regular season. That doesn't win you the Stanley Cup.
He's just resting. He's just resting.
It's his version of load management.
Yeah.
He is going out there, and he's going to do some things on the PK, and he's just going to do but even like his goal yesterday, he didn't want to show any secrets. He's not going to show other teams how he could really score. It was off his foot.
With a little topspin. That's hard to do.
He's holding off. He knows what he's doing. And then he comes out in the playoffs and just going to put it behind the net multiple times.
I was thinking, you imagine if this gets called back.
Well, that was the one thing that you're thinking when it's like you're seeing the foot part. You're like, oh, okay, you got to see the overhead replay because is there any way this could be called back? Because the Oilers don't have luck with that sometimes. And then you're like, yeah, that's not coming back.
That's funny.
That would have sucked.
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine how angry the crowd would have been?
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine how bad the refs would have been booed?
Things were thrown on the ice for hats, like when he scored. I guarantee there would have been beer cans on the ice if it would have went to review and they went. There was a couple people throwing some beer cans on the ice. I don't condone that. You shouldn't do that, but guaranteed that's what would have happened. People would have been furious.
But good for him, man. That's like seeing the smiles afterwards.
Have you guys ever been around a teammate that had like a situation where like something was their performance, something they just had that monkey on their back they couldn't get rid of, and you saw them finally break through?
I never had
as dramatic as that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I never had a guy that was predicted to be one of our, main cogs of the wheel, so to speak, offensively, to go through something that bad. I've had guys on my team that have gone through slumps at the beginning of the year, but they always seem to after a certain point they would make up for it, and they would catch fire later on, and just it seemed like they couldn't do anything not to score at that point. But for this long, like for the whole season, and just the whole circumstance, probably didn't help that he was Connor's line mate, and he was kind of sought after in the off season, and this was a big piece of the puzzle. The pressure on him to score, especially after preseason too, because he did have some pretty nice goals. Like you saw a little bit of chemistry between him and Connor, and I think when we started this at the beginning of the hockey season, most of us had him playing beside Connor for most of the year, right? So, I've never had it like this, but I've seen guys that were supposed to mean a lot to my team go through some struggles, for sure.
What did you guys make of Troy Stecher's play, having to go in place of Matthias Ekholm, finally getting to see him in action with the Oilers? Cass?
He was all right. He was a fill-in.
Yeah.
He's a fill-in. Like, he moves pretty well. Like, he skates fairly well out there. Didn't really make any big mistakes, and probably overall an easy night to slide into the lineup. Gets a lot of run support, so there was never a crazy amount of pressure on him. But I thought he was solid. Like, he seemed like he wanted to work hard, wanted to do the right things, was generally in the right areas, battled around the net. Now it takes a couple penalties, but I like, he was exactly what you wanted him to be, which is just a right-handed depth defenseman that gives you a different look than a Vinny Desharnais if you need to pull Vinny and put him in the lineup, and gives you a little bit of a different look for somebody if someone gets hurt. Now, we also have to note that is him playing his offside as well, which I don't know how often he's done that. I'd have to check.
No, I mean, I look at that first penalty too. It was a little bit unfortunate. Stick kind of got caught up. You saw his frustration after taking the second one. Here's a guy coming into the lineup and wants to show his new team and coaching staff and teammates what he's capable of. But like you said, Cass, it was a solid game in a pretty good situation for him where he looked good. His first passes were good. A little bit of physicality. I forget who he missed on a good hip check in the second period there. So there's not afraid of the rough stuff as well. So, yeah, it gives them a little bit, maybe more of an option if there are some guys banged up on the back end. Oilers have been so fortunate not to have any of these guys hurt. Like, this is crazy.
I got to knock on wood for that. It's been just an absolutely incredible season.
Yeah.
Like, that blue line, I think it's 3 games lost this season.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Four
is it
now.
4?
4.
Oh, right, yeah,
With that
good
goal.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause that
And
goal
3 were
yesterday,
the
so-
first couple games.
Yeah, so like it's incredible, and if that keeps going, things should go well for this team. Looking ahead back to the Avs game on Saturday, what do you want to see from the Oilers against the Avs? What are you looking for that will give you confidence that if the Oilers were to meet them in a Western Conference final, that they're the favorite going into that?
Pace of the game. They need to, at certain times, it's not going to be the whole game because the Avs are going to push, Oilers going to push, but I want to see them be able to, at certain points, dictate the pace of play and put the Avs on their heels. Because if we look back a few years, there was very seldom times when that actually happened. And watching, I'll allude to it again. I was texting everybody during that Kraken Vegas game, and Vegas was pushing the pace to a level that the Kraken couldn't keep up with. So, and the Avs play with speed. And so that's what I want to see. I want to see ebbs and flows and see how much, like, more eye test view of how the Oilers can dictate their pace of play where the Avs have to adjust to it.
Gas, what are you paying attention to most on Saturday for this team? It looked like, not just for the 2 points in this game, obviously there's the result there, but long term as you look towards the playoffs and a potential matchup between these two, what do you want to see from the Oilers in this game?
I want to see how your D pairs handle McKinnon and Co. Like, how your D pairs handle the big boys, because you're going to be up against them time and time again. And whether it's Colorado or one of the other teams, that's where you're going to see the challenge. And that's where people were freaking out the most about them not bringing in 8 new D-men and trading the entire D-core for an entirely new D-core, because people were worried about Cody Ceci, they were worried about Kulak, they're worried about Vinny Desharnais, they're concerned about it. And I mean, I think if we're looking at this team and we go, okay, if there's something where they could struggle, it's they don't have that number one guy that's going to play 30 minutes a night in the playoffs or more if you need him to in overtime. Like, now Darnell Nurse can get up there in minutes, but maybe not at the same level consistently as like a Cale Makar would be. So I think that, to me, is going to be what you're looking for, is how do your D pairings handle Nathan McKinnon and that high-end talent when it's just coming at you over and over and over again in a game.
Rantanen too. Like, how are you going to handle him?
Well, yeah, I use McKinnon's name, but I mean,
extension, I guess. Yeah.
Just that group as a whole, the Colorado Avalanche group of forwards as a whole.
Well, and they don't have Landeskog yet, even.
No,
I was looking at like,
and he might come back in playoffs.
Yes, it could return in the playoff time frame.
But
what are you going to see from him? I don't know.
I don't know if he. I mean, it's a serviceable body, but I don't think you're seeing the Landeskog that we've seen for years. This is a guy trying to jump on a treadmill at 12 miles an hour at this point, right?
ESC Flyweight keyword coming up in less than 10 minutes time right here on Two Guys and a Goalie. Matthew Iwanyk, Matt Kassian, Joaquin Gage with you here. The West is going to be fun to watch for the playoffs. Like, to me, unless you guys think, like you talked about watching the Preds take on the Jets yesterday. To me, there's 6 teams going to these playoffs in the West that have a really strong chance. In the Avs, the Jets, the Stars, the Oilers, the Golden Knights, and the Canucks. Would you guys put the Preds there right now?
The way they're playing, yeah. And Saros, he's a goalie that makes his team better than they actually are too. So that's always dangerous to think about. Yossi, one of the best D-men in the league, he's tough up to go against. Forsberg, I think probably one of the most underrated forwards in the league too. They're going to be tough, man. It's it's good. Would I like to see the Oilers play the Preds? Of course, because Leon will probably win the Conn Smythe in that first round. But no, it's the West is stacked, really stacked. And the Jets came back in that game, but the Preds were a dominant force against a really good Winnipeg Jets team.
Cass, power rank the top 3. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Preds. I get they're playing some really good hockey and they're winning a lot of games right now. But when I look at their roster, I'm still like, if I'm Edmonton, I still want to play them in the first round. Like, if I could pick all these teams, that's who I want to play. I don't want to play Vegas in the first round if I can avoid it. And they're going to have a $140 million salary cap. So you don't want to play them. Maybe LA too. But
I'd want to play LA.
Someone else aside from LA.
If I'm the Oilers, I want to play LA.
I would lean Nashville. But just as much as because we've seen them play LA a couple of times, and so it's like it'd be fun to see them play someone else. But if power rank the teams,
the top 3, just go top 3 of the West right now.
3.
As you look at the West, where do you rank those of those 6? I guess, if you will.
Top 3?
Yeah.
Well, ask me this after Saturday, but if I'm going today, I'm going Knights, Oilers, Avs.
Oh, you still have the Knights at top?
After what I saw with Theodore,
I got
Pietrangelo, and Hannafin now, Cass, they're so big. They're just and they're mobile. It's scary. It's a goaltender's dream.
I did see someone write an article, which was interesting. I can't remember who it was, and when I saw it the other day, but that was on basically it was going through like different factors into teams that win the Stanley Cup, and it had one on the weight. So how much does the overall total weight of a team or average weight of a team factor in? And it was quite strongly. It was like if you look at a majority of the teams that have won the last 10 years, is like they generally are in the top 5 in terms of total weight. Not necessarily height, but in terms of total weight. Like big teams seem to win still, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So I get that, Gage, and I get that factor, but we still do not actually know, with Stone, is he going to come back?
What's Hurdle going to be like after an injury?
Yeah.
What's Hurdle? So you just don't know yet. So I don't have them in that top 3. They very well could be.
Not even in the top 3 yet. Interesting.
Yeah, I probably right now I go Colorado, Dallas, Edmonton, then Winnipeg.
Wow, Golden Knights dropping.
Maybe Vancouver, Vegas. Yeah.
I understand the injury factor, but man, if they get all those guys back, and it doesn't always mean just because you add a player doesn't always work out, right? So you see Hurdle come in, there could be, he's got to learn something new. This is a guy that hasn't won in a few years. It's a total different way to pace of play to get used to. I think we're seeing that a little bit with Rico. He's a good player, but the Oilers, I think it was coach.
Knobloch?
No, old Oilers coach.
Ron Lowe? How old are we going?
In a couple of years. They got fired.
Jay Woodcroft?
Dallas Aikens. There we go.
Thanks, Zach.
Dallas was saying that the biggest thing that they're going to have to get used to is the pace of play, right? This
is from the interview with the morning show.
Yeah,
okay,
so
my bad.
That's what I'm thinking. That's going to take some time, and that could affect Hurdle as well.
But I will say right before the Bob father announced Hurdle going to the Golden Knights, Golden Knights look like a good hockey team.
Oh yeah,
right. Like so that like it doesn't even. To me, they're a team that if Hurdle doesn't produce the way that they might think that he could, they're still going to be fine because they've got so many other pieces.
Yeah. It adds another layer of complexity to their team if he comes in and starts contributing offensively. Because watching Eichel the other night too, he's a completely different player. The way he can take over a game with speed, his physicality, the way he protects the puck, they're a dangerous team, Cass. I know.
Like but the West is just so strong. Like those 6 teams, you can make an argument for any of those 6 teams, I think, to come through the West and represent and go to the Stanley Cup final.
Yep.
Definitely.
Absolutely, you can.
I think Vancouver would be the one that I think maybe has the most detractors potentially because they haven't been to the playoffs. It's been a few years since they were there.
And they're full of a bunch of soft Europeans. No,
but in the end,
I'm not saying that seriously.
It's some heavyweights, like in the West this year, and that's what's going to make the playoffs so much fun, especially as you get to round 2 and conference final. Those 3 series, or whoever's remaining, and type thing. It's going to be a battle. Now it's time for the keyword, and it comes just after something Gage said because you actually had the keyword in your.
You
mentioned the keyword. You mentioned the keyword there. It's time for the keyword. Get your phone out. 780-218-9999. You'll need to text in this keyword for your chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. 2 nonstop flights, 3 nights accommodation, tickets to Cirque, presented by FlyYEG and the LVCVA. Nonstop flights to over 50 destinations. Your sports trip starts with nonstop flights from FlyYEG. Visit flyyeg.com for more information. Today's keyword here on Two Guys and a Goalie, it's Eichel, as in Jack Eichel of the Vegas Golden Knights. EICHEL. Text that to 780-218-9999. Eichel right now. Don't get in the nasty chat with that. You're just wasting time. Text it to us, 780-218-9999, Eichel, and you'll go into a draw in the next 5 minutes or so. I will call someone. So for a brief period, Cass, you and Gage, when he comes back from the washroom, you guys will just need to chat amongst yourselves while I quickly get the qualifier on the air. But yeah, so keep your phone on as well, because if I call you and you don't pick up, I got to go to the next person. So if you're going to text, keep your phone on right near you for the next 5 minutes, and you could be the qualifier for today's keyword right here on Two Guys and a Goalie. So yeah, when you said Eichel, Gage, I was like, yeah, you got the keyword right there.
I saw it on the screen. Maybe that's why I talked about it. I don't know. Subliminal.
I'm proud of today's keywords. I did them today. I'm very proud of today.
Is that the list?
This is the full list. You want to look at it?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Go through that. And actually, I have to go change that.
I'm surprised you didn't have any. If you didn't have any F1 words in there, because
F1 was in there.
There was.
So actually, here's the problem.
Was there F1?
So
I didn't see that.
You apologize.
Yeah, I screwed up on it. So for some reason, I mixed up the days or something, and I started with the Two Guys, but we started on Monday, which is Oil Stream. But even on the sheet, it says Two Guys F1. I was going to do the first day of Two Guys, or like the first occasion on Two Guys to be F1 for you guys. And by accident, I put it on the Monday with Oil Stream, so it was Tommy and Dusty that had F1. I don't think there's a single other Formula One reference in the rest of these keywords.
There's some good ones. I do like the March 15th Oil Stream. That one's good.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to lie. It took me a little bit finding 7 weeks worth of keywords related to Las Vegas. But I got it done. Started off weak, according to some people. But I think today was a good one. And
also,
Eichel is it.
The hangout on March 27th is good, too. I like
that. That was going to be difficult. Well, Dusty had on Lock Shop a couple days ago, he had slots. And immediately Hush jumped on. He's like, that's with an O. Slots with an O. Just to make sure people.
yeah.
There's a couple I have to add. I'm sorry, Cass. You're kind of out on the loop on this. This is the one I need to add.
Oh, you have to add
that one's going in.
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't have that one.
Because that encompasses Vegas.
Yeah, that is going in, definitely. So, yeah, you still have a couple more minutes to qualify for the FlyYEG giveaway. The keyword coming off the screen right now. Actually, I got to figure out which monitor I have to go up. Oh, there it is. I'm doing this all on my own here. There we go. This is Two Guys and a Goalie. Matt Iwanyk, Matt Kassian, Joaquin, Gage with you here. Momentarily, I will call someone. Question for you guys. If you guys had a truck load full of Jagr bobbleheads, what would you do?
Well, yeah, I'd have to wait. You have to kind of find the storage facility, let them sit for at least a few months, and then slowly distribute them out there on the dark web. Because who was Majot was talking about how he went to a bobblehead night at a Major League Baseball game, and there were guys just buying them all up in garbage bags,
Giving $20 to people
to buy them
because they could sell them for $40.
Yeah, later on. So these things are going to be worth something at some point. And if you ever actually get over to Prague and get Jaromir to sign a couple of these things and have them, I mean, I don't know. They probably wanted big, huge flat screens. They got one of the best hockey players in the world. That's pretty funny, actually.
Well, no, I think it was intentional.
You think they planned this one?
Yeah.
And I think there's now a shipping container that is going to Europe full of Jagr bobbleheads that's going to be blessed by a gypsy over there because that's what they do. And then I think Jagr probably potentially possibly was the ringleader in all of this, and he's going to sign them all, and then they're going to sell them all to keep funding the team that he owns. That's how they're going to pay their salaries.
He has been here for the last. It's a strange coincidence now that you mention this, Cass, that he comes over for the jersey retirement, and they have all these things planned, and then all his bobbleheads mysteriously get stolen off the back of a truck.
And for those that have missed the story, the Penguins announced earlier this morning that the shipment carrying the Jagr bobbleheads for tonight's game have been stolen en route to Pittsburgh. As a result, the bobbleheads will not be distributed at tonight's game, but will be distributed at a later time. I was telling Majot and Gager before we did the hangout that to me, I just feel like this is like somebody needs to take the Goodfellas scene where Leota is in the shower and he hears the story on the radio about the shipment being robbed and they got their big money, but somebody has to be like, the shipment of Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads have been stolen, and he's getting all excited in the shower because somebody stole all these and their big plan. Like it came through, but like I look at it like somebody was they planned this whole heist to get this truck. They go in there, they open up these boxes and go, what is this? What did we just waste all this time on? We've got a bunch of Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads. How are we going to move these?
Well, I thought it might have been a Philly fan, but he played in Philly, so I don't know. Maybe it's a Philly fan.
Well, maybe it is a Philly fan.
Somebody said Gritty is the top candidate for this. Which actually, you want to know something? How great would it be if this is all staged and it was Gritty who stole them?
Oh, man.
And then it came out that, I've got all the bobbleheads, and there's some sort of play that comes through.
He's laying in a bed of bobbleheads.
That would be unbelievable. That would be unbelievable. What a PR move. Yeah. What a PR move that would be. That's a total power move if they did that. Oh.
I look forward to when they find these. Like the story of where they are and...
Or Jagr goes missing all of a sudden now, and they show the ransom note with him with the bobbleheads.
The proof of life.
This story was just, as Eric broke it on the Nielsen show today, it was just so funny because it just sounds like...
It's ridiculous.
This is just completely ridiculous, but this is also really serious. And like, there's federal investigators involved in this. I'm assuming because it's probably crossing state borders. That means it's federal, and there's state officials involved on this. And like, imagine you're getting that call as the officer today, and you get the, hey, we need you on this case. Yeah, somebody stole a truck. What was on it? Some Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads. What?
Yeah, he was a famous. Czech hockey player.
We need you to find them. Good luck.
It's great.
That's awesome.
That's just
awesome. I need to quickly just call someone here. What do you guys want to talk about while I'm quickly? Just over here.
We'll probably talk about you while you're over there.
Well,
but...
have you seen Dune? Do you have interest in Dune?
Yes, I mean, saw the first one, read the books.
You read them all, the books?
No, I quit after a while because they got not good. Yeah, the first couple were the best, and then it was just kind of like, after that. I mean, the first one in particular was absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've kind of been waiting because my dad is a big Dune fan.
yeah.
Like he loved the books too, and so we've been trying to find a time. I gotta take him to watch it. So I haven't gone to see it yet, but I will. Apparently, it's really, really good. So
it's fantastic. It if you've read the books, it's one of those movies where it, for me anyway, when I watch a movie and it resembles what I thought it would look like from reading the book, that was the exciting part of it.
yeah,
Just a masterful job of storytelling, and seeing the evolution of the Fremen and Paul Atreides in this, they did an unbelievable job and set it up. I don't want to give too much away, but quite nicely to move into Dune Messiah and hopefully for a few more movies because it's fantastic.
Before we continue on that, because I will jump in on this conversation, joined right now by Charles, who is our qualifier for the trip to Vegas. Charles, congratulations. Have you ever been to Las Vegas before?
Yes, I have not. We chatted last week because this is my second qualification. So,
You've already
been there a couple
qualified.
times.
This is our first double qualifier then that we've had. Excellent. So Gage threw it out, this question during the hangout, so now I'll put it to you. Because you have within a year to travel, if you're the winner on April 26th, when do you think is the best time to head to Las Vegas?
Oh, best time. Probably the fall, I'm going to guess. Just you still have opportunity to see hockey if you go in October and possibly playoff football.
Perfect. Well, congratulations. Best of luck, and keep your phone on April 26th. You got another name in the entry for the big draw for this trip to Vegas.
Great. Thanks, Matty.
There you go. And there's next chance to qualify coming up tomorrow morning on the Nielsen Show. 4 more chances tomorrow to qualify. But Charles, becoming our first double qualifier here at EST with 2 names now into the
Charles,
draw.
I was going to say that the perfect time to go down to Vegas is when the storm has died down from the Jagr bobblehead thievery, so you can buy a couple of those on the streets, on the strip, because that's where they're going to be sold.
I'll go a couple weeks later and hit that F1 race too. He said October, but
no one watches F1, Andrew.
Congratulations having 2 teams at the top of the league, by the way, Cass. Well done.
Thanks.
No one responded to your text on those. I did respond once, and then no one else responded, but I saw you.
They're all just jealous, especially that Gage commissioner guy who's just kind of full of himself, power hungry, I would say. I dare say at times, the commish, he's just disappointed. So
I feel like Toto.
He even criticized live on 2 guys my stratagem heading into it. He's like, "Oh, that was a bold move."
I said bold move. I said it was good. It was interesting. It's obviously worked out for you. I was so far. No, it's good. The reason why I said it is I never thought of it. I didn't think that was a valid strategy. Just from maybe I'm thinking too much. I gotta simplify my picks, but no, we'll have another commissioner video this week to lay out as we get down under for Australia next weekend.
Yeah, I have liked those videos though. I will say that, Gage. Okay. Those are good. They're great. I enjoy.
I need to up the production value a little bit, but yeah, we're working on something special for Australia.
Or just go full Kevin Weeks and just make sure the camera's above your head and you're good.
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to take the moneymaker away from you guys, though.
Actually, he's the one that kind of broke the Atlanta news a bit ago. What do you guys make of Anson Carter and his group wanting to bring a team back to Atlanta for a 3rd time?
I mean, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. Like I would like to see them try one in Houston before it works in Atlanta, because I think your likelihood of success is higher. Like it hasn't worked in Atlanta. And could it work? Yeah, it could. But I don't know, guys. It hasn't worked there yet.
But it
hasn't worked there yet.
They're not going to stop at 33. There has to be 34. Like it has to go to the even number.
Yeah.
Because Houston's been rumored a lot. Well, I guess Salt Lake's the other team. Mm-hmm. Well, Houston gets the Coyotes, Salt Lake and Atlanta get expansion.
Too,
yeah. I find it hard to believe that 3rd time's a charm in that area. Maybe now that we've seen success, I think you can basically look at the last two teams joining the NHL have been quite successful. You know, they haven't been the expansion teams of old that are just bottom feeders. The thing that worries me is if it's too soon. Like, I think it was perfect timing for Seattle and Vegas to come in because there was enough talent that it didn't water everything down, and these teams were competitive right away. If you get to a point where you're icing a team that's essentially an American League team in a new market where there's so much competition for eyes like it is in Atlanta, it's going to fail. So the timing has to be perfect where you have to have a surplus of able bodies that can play at the NHL level, or else it just doesn't make sense. And I worry that because we've had two teams now, I know it's given a little bit of time, but I'd like to see it just grow a little bit more. Looking at all these other leagues, we talk like Hello Hockey with these other leagues and the level of players that are coming up now. I think maybe delaying a few more years will even raise the talent pool even more for young players and provide a team that can be competitive in its first year.
I think it's being rumored over $1 billion potentially for this expansion. So I understand why the owners are going for it. They're going for the easy cash. Expansion
Lots
draft,
of
that'd
money.
be interesting though, because is now that you've added two teams, is there going to be enough players that those two teams that eventually they add, you're going to have good enough players to pick, or are we going back to the old days of the expansion teams where you're picking not the best, and it's going to take a long time to get good?
Or they structure the rules where they make more players available that are good, right?
Which is going to...
That's probably what they do, but then you're decimating other teams.
But the owners won't care because they're taking their money.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're getting
But
money.
the fans are going to be furious.
yeah.
Like, if now the rules are, because you want to make sure that those players have good, that instead of whatever was 8 forwards, 2 defensemen or something like that, or
Something like
it was
that.
6 forward, whatever the rules were, that now you're going, instead of 8 forwards, it's now 7 forwards, just to make sure that there is a good player available. Fans are like, I'm not getting that money. Season tickets aren't going lower for me.
Yeah.
Nothing's being cheaper for me. This is all going for you guys, and my team's now going to be a little worse. Like, I think it's just a little too soon.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't know if there's enough talent.
Yeah.
And I think this is a little short-sighted for the money.
Not in Atlanta. Not there. It's gone through twice. Third time, I don't think it's going to make a difference.
I did see, I think it was Jamie Nye in Saskatchewan, though, saying this is good news for Quebec City. These last two teams in Atlanta went to Canadian markets.
I guess.
So if Quebec City wants its team,
They need
let
Atlanta.
Atlanta have the team, and in a few years, it'll be in Quebec City because they got to move from Atlanta somewhere else. That's the way it will go. We're about done here on Two Guys and a Goalie for today. We won't be speaking to either of you two before Saturday, or at least, are you good for pregame on Saturday, Cass?
No, I won't. I'll be going to be driving back from Saskatoon. Gonna go full global correspondent. So
And I'll have to be finding
for Friday night.
I'm doing pregame, so I got to figure out who I'm talking to. Your guys' predictions for Saturday's game. Cass, I'll start with you.
4-3 overtime Edmonton.
Oh, shoot.
That's what you're going to say?
Yeah. I was
Dead
gonna
on?
Say that dead on. Oh, crap.
Okay, so both of you guys think 4-3 overtime win against the Avs on Saturday for the Oilers. Both of you taking over 2.5, or I guess it works for 2 goals for Connor Brown the rest of this season. Me and Cass over 52.5 for Zach Hyman. Joaquin Gage under 52.5 goals this season for Zach Hyman. That's what we learned today on Two Guys and a Goalie.
Love it.
I look forward to the pulled pork, whatever you're making us
all
there,
right, yeah.
Gager. It's going to be delicious.
It will be delicious. But you'll just have to come over to my house to have it because, well,
You inviting me
I'm
over?
winning. Yeah, well, I think Cass and I talked. We need a EST like a summer cook-off.
I think Glue Guy's trying to plan something.
Is he?
too. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, a bunch of things.
Well, we should reach out to that the one place we've chatted to a little bit that does that. That would be fun to get them
that'd be
involved. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Cass, it's great talking today. Gager, it's good doing a second show with you today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in for Two Guys and a Goalie. Up next on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn. We've got a Nielsen Show replay. We're back with live programming tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Nielsen Show, Dusty, Eric, YouTube, Trev, and your next chance to qualify for the EST Flyaway on behalf of Cass and Gager. I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.